Ezio Auditore is back and he is looking for more assassins to recruit. This is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Don't go away. So let me start by getting what this game does at the beginning. I'm gonna get right into it. This game starts immediately where the last game ended. And I was kind of taken back. I spawned in, I had my outfit that I was wearing in Assassin's Creed 2. I had the exact same amount of money, I had all my weapons and everything. I was like, I'm gonna roll this game. I mean, I'm gonna spawn in like a god. I have everything I had. It almost starts like a book sequel. I mean, you literally start off where you ended. All the characters are here. Ezio's here, his sister, his mother. You know, you have Mario, Uncle Mario. And I was like, this is a really good intro. This is a really good sequel.
Though not, I think, as any of us expected. I entered the Vaticano and faced Rodrigo. No!
And really, the game as a whole is carbon copy paste from Assassin's Creed 2. This is Assassin's Creed 2, well, 2. Part 2, I guess. Now I want to continue talking about the story and how it starts and continues because that is the best part of this game, in my opinion. After you get the intro through, the main villain and the Borgia attack the city, and Ezio, loses everything and fumbles the golden apple out of his hands. And I thought this was actually a very smart way to reset everything. Because honestly, if you start with max HP, max weapons, max armor, what is there to do? You don't really have, at that point, what's the point of going to shops to upgrade stuff? So I thought that was a smart way to do things. Along the way through the story, you meet old and some new faces. Ezio goes on to train a new creed of assassins. And of course, at the game, you take down the Borgia and the villain, and that's it. Now, I will say this game is shorter and the story is more compact compared to Assassin's Creed 2, which I don't really mind because everything on this game mechanically is the exact same. So I don't want to really spend too much time doing random, go here and come back missions. I'm really in here for the story at this point. Now there are some things to note with the story. It's not just like very short, very stuff. The story is very good. It is the best thing about this game. Something I have to immediately comment on that I found very funny was in Assassin's Creed 2 review, I said this: uncle, and brings only the living family with them, which includes the mom and the sister. And if I have to make a complaint here, the mom and sister really are not utilized well at all. You could have made a really great story here. What I would have done is I would have just had more missions with the mom, right? Maybe go to the cemetery and grieve or some shit. Maybe have the sister become like an assassin.
I offer the choice to you. Join us.
So when this scene came about, I genuinely laughed, and I was like, I literally called this coming in. The sad thing is, even though that his sister is inducted as an assassin, nothing comes about it at all. So I expect this to be in Revelations to be, to be something. Leonardo makes a pretty much cameo. I was expecting him to be way more big a part of this. And the intro, I will say, is not as impactful as it was before. It kind of goes for the same thing. In fact, it does a carbon copy of it. It has the exact same music, pretty much the exact same shot, but I've seen it before. And I already know who Ezio is and everything, so it's like, okay, yeah, they're doing the same thing, cool. And of course, I won't go into this too much, but the story inside the story, Desmond and everything. At the end, it's insane and crazy, but I won't really go too crazy into that. That's not really what the focus of these main games are. Now, so that the story is a bit out of the way, the good part, mechanically, this game plays the exact same. Could not make a single difference here. I would think that, making a sequel from Assassin's Creed 2, keep the good, buff the bad. What was the bad? Well, some of the animations I just felt were jank. There was a little bit of stickiness. Assassin's Creed 2 mechanic was really good, but not perfect. You could have scratched a few buffs out here, did a little change there, changed a few animations, but no. It's the exact same. And at first, it was like, really? Really? But I got used to it as time went on. I was like, hey, I know what I'm doing here. This is the exact same. Same menu, same attacks, same sound effects. Same weapons, apart from a single crossbow being added. That's literally it. Same way to do lookout towers. And as bad as this does sound, it's really not as bad as it does sound. There are a few things that are added that are new, 3 that come to mind, although one of them is completely useless and kind of dumb. 1. The new Borgia Towers. This is basically an enemy base, but the cool thing is it's not just a standard run and kill everything and then you've conquered the base. There is a specific guy in the base, the leader. You have to kill him. Now, the tough thing is, if you get detected, the leader's like, ah shit, I'm fucking out, right? So you have to assassinate him. Stealthily. This makes for some interesting parts where you just don't know where he spawns. He could be here, he could be there. One time he spawned inside the tower itself, so that was crazy to scale undetected. But Borgia Towers are a welcome. Second new thing. Remember save civilians in the first game? Be a good comrade and save your local civilian. It really did almost nothing in the first game. Here, it kind of does something. If you save a civilian, you recruit them into being an assassin. Now, this is important because this is this game's main calling card, main ace up its sleeve, main blade up its sleeve. Lead and control a legendary brotherhood. There's no better way to explain this than, well, if you've played any RTS, Age of Empires, or anything else, this is how the system goes. You can check out the assassins you've recruited at the barracks. And while there, send them on missions to garner HP. What? Wrong! Send them on missions to garner XP. Use that XP to upgrade their health or armor. That is the only option. And don't get me wrong here, I love this system. I actually got a couple assassins max level and used them in combat quite a bit. It was kind of fun, you know, going into a huge war. Yo, here's my assassins, you know, go blade to blade with your assassins in a few scenarios. And it was cool, but it could have been more. It had potential. The literal only thing you do is you send them on a mission, hopefully they complete it, they come back, you upgrade health or armor. It's literally just a bar you click. The only customization you have is the attire that they're wearing, and that's it. Maybe this is a lot of work for Ubisoft team, and you know, maybe a bit of a real huge wish here, considering that the main character Ezio doesn't have one himself, but a skill tree would have been cool here. Really nothing at all differentiates one assassin from the other than how many times you sent them on a mission. And the third and final thing that they added that was new, well, you know, asterisk, semi-new, was the ability to rebuild this whole city, rebuild the city of Rome, I think they're in. Now this was kind of in the previous game. You were able to rebuild Uncle Mario's little town, you know, send a little upgrade shop here, a little upgrade shop there. Well, they took that system and put it through the roof. Every Borgia Tower you complete, you can re-upgrade a painter shop, a thread area, a clothes shop, weapon spot, a fast travel spot, which is weird because the map's kind of small. And what does this do, you might ask?
What does it do?
Well, there is a benefit of being able to, you know, go into that shop. But, well, the really only useful one here is for the weaponry. I mean, sure, changing your look is cool, but you only change the color palette. And I only did it once. Literally, I did it once the entire game. Considering that there's like 30 shops, that's not very great. Art shops are good, but they kind of lead into another problem because what you get from them is treasure maps, and treasure maps garnish you money, which kind of is the big problem here. Money doesn't do anything here. I bought my one super duper sword, I bought my one super duper armor set, and I was set. I had the crossbow, I had my super small knife, I had, you know, money enough to refuel pistol bullets, crossbow bolts, and throwing knives and health items, which would take me back like 1% of the money I currently had, and I never did any of the side things. So really, what's the point of rebuilding Rome in the first place, or spending a considerable amount of time on it? The more money you put in, the more money you get back. Rome makes a certain amount of dollars every 20 minutes in-game time. Anywhere from 1,000, 5,000, keep building, you can get to 8,000, 10,000, way higher than that, right? But there's no point. You spend money to open up a shop to get money in return. Just to spend more money on a shop to get money in return. There's nowhere to spend the money.
It's useless.
I just didn't really get the system of spend the money to get the money. when I could have just kept the money in the first place. This is completely optional. It is not mandatory by any standards at all. So I don't want to narc on this too hard, but it is one of the very few new things that they kind of added, and I wasn't really a huge fan of. Presentation wise, I gotta be honest, I'll keep it short, because, well, you guessed it, it's the exact same. It was a sin that in 2009, the same year that Resident Evil 5 released, the face models looked like this. And a year later, you think that they would buff it a little bit, get some better facial animations or something, and they don't. So in 2010, the facial models look like this. And I have a bad feeling that in Assassin's Creed Revelations, no doubt released in 2011 probably, will have the same ones. The city looks pretty interesting. I mean, I won't say too much. There is a bit of a drawback, you only go to this one city, so you're not exploring a whole bunch. And the music being the same, I don't really mind this approach of having a trilogy or anything and having the same music, because I played Assassin's Creed 2, and when I heard that same music, I was brought back. It's like, yo, I'm back in this world. It creates a stronger world than just individual parts, and soundtracks do play a huge part of that. The Harry Potter games benefit from this, from reusing the same soundtracks. It created that Hogwarts world, and here it's creating that Assassin's Creed world.
Give it to me. You can do with it as you will later.
Bene.
So for overall impact, because this is a carbon copy of Assassin's Creed 2 with a few little knickknacks thrown in, I do have to say, I still really loved my playthrough, no doubt. I really enjoyed the story here, but it's just not at that same level it was before. The world is much smaller and less interesting to even look at and explore. Halfway through this game, I stopped doing everything on the side and purely focused on main missions because, well, one, I realized that rebuilding the city meant nothing. I gained nothing other than digits on my money bar, and all the side things got me was just more money, so I didn't need any of that, and they weren't really interesting because it was completely lopsided against the great story here. The best parts of Assassin's Creed is still here. Compelling dialogue and the fact that assassinating people still gives me that great feeling of stalking a prey or something. It's still here. I'm not tired of the formula yet. So we'll see how it goes in the future, but for now, we're looking at a decently solid, actually pretty solid in my opinion, 8 out of 10 for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. So that's it. No doubt Revelations is going to be a carbon copy of this game, and I don't really mind it. Hopefully, I think after that, hopefully they switched up a little bit. I have a feeling they won't. But we were left on another cliffhanger in this game, and hopefully we get I want to know what's going on here. This whole backstory with Desmond and everything is very interesting. But that's 2 games in a row. I mean, the cliffhanger was so big, it's like a 500-foot drop at this point. So hopefully in Revelations, they keep what was good and add something new. That is pretty much all I'm asking for at this point. The formula is good. Don't let me tire of it. And that's all I can say. So that's it. But for now, I'm your host, Saber Planet Entertainment, and I hope to do this for you. Peace out.
The things I have felt, seen, and tasted, I do not regret a moment of it.
A man of power must be contemptuous of delicacies.
But I gave the people what they wanted.
And now you pay for it. Il piacere immeritato si consuma da sé. Requiescat in pace.
What is up? I know what you're thinking. You're only here for the bonus Easter egg soundtrack I put in at the end of every video. But did you also know I have a donation page under Buy Me a Coffee? Donate whatever you want to my channel and I'll put half of that back to an environmental charity. So that's that. Enjoy the music. Peace out.